Hello, regular Drews.
Hello, everyone.
Well, I am Becky.
I'm Kori.
And this is regular Nancy Drew. This is our very first episode in the new year, so we wanted to say Happy New Year. And obviously, this is our very first video podcast.
Yes.
So these are our faces. Hello. So we just thought we'd reintroduce ourselves for 2026. And also, because we have a very exciting episode coming to you right now. Kori, what's the episode?
We have gotten the band back together. Not really a band. We've gotten the stars of the 1995 Nancy Drew TV show back together, along with their executive producer, to talk about, the milestone of the anniversary.
Which is actually crazy. So today is December 15th. This is when we're recording this right now. Literally a day away from the anniversary of the final episode of the 1995 TV show. So crazy that we got to do this today. I am so over the moon, so thrilled. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that we would be able to get all these people together. And so I'm just, so excited to have done that and then get this to you all so that you can watch it. But yeah, I guess I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Well, hello, regular Drews.
Hello, everyone.
We are back. You guys, I can't believe who we're talking to tonight. But for a moment, I just want you to take a minute and picture this. It is Saturday, December 16th, 1995. You've just been let out of school for winter break, your parents ordered pizza, and you are sitting in your beanbag chair with your Teen Beat magazine waiting for the last episode of Nancy Drew to air.
If that was you, regular Jews, would you have ever guessed that we would be here together almost exactly 30 years to the day with Michael Klein, a producer of the show, as well as the stars of the show, of course, Jhene Erwin as Bess, Joy Tanner as George, and the wonderful Tracy Ryan as Nancy.
Kori and I, in our wildest dreams, truly never imagined that we would be able to get you all back together. And so we are so excited to have you all here. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really already having fun.
Oh, yay.
So obviously we are huge fans of the 1995 Nancy Drew TV show. And so we thought that today, in true 90s fashion, we would put together a little scrapbook so we could all kind of walk down memory lane together. And here we go. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, so first question right off the bat that I just have to ask you all is, what is it like being back together 30 years later? And let's see, Tracy, do you want to start us off?
Well, 30 years is a horrifying number. It's just like, oh, really? I mean, but otherwise, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful, of course.
Michael, what about you?
Listen, we were all in our 20s when we did this series. And so in many ways, we all grew up together through the experience. It was a really intense time for all of us, and I think in a really positive way. And we've been fortunate that we actually are all still friends and stay in touch. We may not be able to see each other because we're all in different places half the time. But when we are together, it's kind of like no time has passed. So I'm delighted.
Joy?
I have my mic on because of the dog, just in case my dog starts to bark. Yeah, I'm so thrilled to see everyone. Michael was saying the last time we were together was pre-pandemic, and it doesn't seem that long ago. And I went back to look at some of the episodes, and you get thrown right back into the energy and the swing of things, the flow of, and the fun that we were engaging with, and to be here again. And again, like Tracy said, 30 years is an atrocious number. We'll just toss that aside. Oh. It's so wonderful to be in this space with everyone. So thank you for having us.
Oh, you're so welcome. We're so excited. Jhene?
In the blink of an eye, I think that's one thing as you get older. For you guys looking ahead at 30 years, it must seem like, oh my God, 30 years. For us, it feels like, when we're together, time is just folded in on itself, and we're we're different now, but we're the same, and we genuinely like each other, and are delighted in each other's company. And so you know, life gets busy, and it takes an event to really get us all together again. And so, you know, just grateful that you guys have created that space.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, no, we're so excited.
So our next question here, what initially made you interested in working on this show?
Well, it was a good job.
Totally fair.
Yes, that's always a good
True
reason.
Canadian actor. It was a gig. I think Michael, you're the one that kind of produced it. Would you start off maybe?
Yeah, you know, Nancy Drew, as you both know, has had a long life, and certainly, you know, with different television adaptations and feature films, etc. I was actually involved in the Nancy Drew and Daughter with Margot Kidder.
You were.
Wow.
I was. And you know, again, I was the assistant to an executive producer, but very much in the front lines on that series, which, you know, as we know, ended pretty abruptly. Nancy went through some iterations of development after that. There was you may not know this one, a Lifetime television development for a later 20-something Nancy Drew. It was around that time that Beverly Hills 90210 was really big, and Melrose Place, and the spinoff Models Inc. was in development. So every network was looking for their, you know, sort of sexy 20-something series, and Lifetime looked to Nancy Drew for that. So we went down a path. It never got picked up. Which probably is a fortunate thing in all things considered. And then came along Our Nancy, which we started developing in 1994 with the amazing Laura Phillips, who developed the series and wrote a number of our scripts. And it was our 20-something Nancy, early 20-something, you know, leaving for the city, and striking out on her own. It was a 30-minute show, which was being driven by broadcast networks at the time. And it was a complicated series because we had syndication in the US. There was the Canadian component, which was, you know, an important part of it from sort of just putting that thing together. And France. Nancy is huge in France. And so we were fortunate enough to be able to shoot several episodes in Paris as well through the series. When we, you know, certainly when I started casting, everybody wanted to read for Nancy, and why wouldn't they? You know, and this was a hot ticket series in the marketplace. So I think I saw something around 2,000 people over the course of casting around North America, and open calls in New York, and as I say, everyone reading, you know, for all parts, of course, but. It became a real thing, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, there was incredible talent that was walking in the room, and we were so fortunate when we landed with these three, and the series got off and running.
Yeah, some of our questions are very specifically about that, so I'm very interested to hear you talk about that. But yeah, I think just in general, I guess another question we have is that there are so many nods to the Nancy Drew mystery stories in this show, like Nancy's blue and yellow convertible or her yellow apartment. And I don't know, Michael, if you remember any of like the research that went into this, or just I mean, you talked about the development in general, but do you remember the research process, or even just how you first came to learn about Nancy Drew? Did you grow up knowing her?
Yeah, I mean, I was a big Hardy Boys fan when I was growing up. And we, of course, concurrently, we were shooting a Hardy Boys series. So both were being developed at the same time, cast at the same time. In fact, we shot at the same time, 1 week on. It was Nancy Week, Hardy Week, Nancy Week, Hardy Week. And you know, the ladies can attest to, I tend to be a little bit of a detail person, particularly around hair and wardrobe and things. And those details certainly were infused through the development of the show. When we had those echoes of Nancy in the past. I mean, I really wanted to have Benita Granville part of the series. Unfortunately, we were too late for that to happen. I did meet Mildred Wirt Benson for a minute.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, at a Nancy Drew convention in Iowa City, Iowa, which you're probably familiar with. I think it was around 1992, 93, I want to say.
I actually have a book on that I just bought a couple weeks ago. So.
Oh yeah. I was there, and actually Simon and Schuster, the publisher of the books, we had a really great working relationship, and one of the editors was there, and in one of the sessions, happened to let out that she had one of the original manuscripts of one of the first books. And I mean, I thought we'd had to get security for her. People were going crazy, like this idea that she's like, I'm not bringing it out. It's very funny. Anyway, so those nods to Nancy of the past were really important. But at the same time, we were creating a Nancy Drew certainly on her own terms, along with Bess and George. We didn't want to follow the books directly. We were not lifting stories from the books. These were completely original. And we wanted to have a maturity for the characters beyond what we had seen at the books at that time. And again, we had the license to do that. We were very fortunate, not only with Simon & Schuster, but with our other production partners, quite frankly, that we had sort of our free will of what to do. The great thing about this process is that then you meet incredible talent like Tracy and Joy and Jhene when they come in the room and they make the characters their own. And that's the reason we're here today. It was through that casting process and for them to give voice to what was on paper and bring them to life and frankly, take them to levels that were beyond anything that we could have anticipated through the development phase that made it so exciting for us.
That's so cool. And so what about the rest of you? What was your first introduction to Nancy Drew? Maybe Jhene, I'll pick on you first.
Sure. Well, my brother is 2 years older than me. And so he had and still has all the Hardy Boy books. So he was a big fan of the Hardy Boys. And I read some Nancy Drew, but I came to reading sort of later in my life. In my 20s, I started to really enjoy reading, but I did read some, and truthfully, I really enjoyed reading the Hardy Boy books. I thought that they were very cool. Oh, and the TV series, the two with Parker Stevens and I remember, yes, and Sean Cassidy and the Nancy Drew as well show.
Pamela Smartin, yes.
Yes, I remember. I think it was a Friday nights. It was a weekend, but it was kind of late for me. And I remember like standing at the bathroom sink, like splashing cold water on my face to try and like stay awake long enough to catch the shows. So,
that's so sweet. I love that.
Does that answer your question, or did I just go off into some strange tangent?
No, it absolutely did. Yes, thank you.
Good.
Maybe Tracy, if you want to go next.
Uh-oh. I always feel like I'm the disappointing.
No, not at all.
When it comes to, because I hadn't read the books, and I'd certainly knew about them. It's not like I was like deeply into like a detective series called The Three Investigators, which was some like probably crappy.
No.
And I do remember the older TV show as well, but I don't think I watched it. So yes, it's still 30 years later, and I still don't answer that question very well.
She's still a mystery to you.
Yes.
That's okay. I think you'd be surprised today. A lot of people don't know, have never even heard of Nancy Drew. So even to just hear that you knew about her is great. Is exciting.
But yes. I mean, it wasn't something you could escape at all. I think too, it was something definitely even my mom had been quite into.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if this show was really your first introduction, I think that makes a pretty good introduction for Nancy Drew. It's good. Getting to know her that way. Maybe Joy, if you want to tell us your story as well.
Yeah. So I read all of the books.
Oh, wow.
I would go to to like garage sales to find books, pay a quarter to get a book. I was so excited. I had my mom's books from the 30s. So I had a collection of books from various time periods, the 30s, the 50s, and then again, I guess it would have been the 70s. And I would have competitions with my grandmother. We would read side by side. How I, really got into reading and literacy. And we would have reading competitions, who could finish the book a book the fastest. And yeah. And then, of course, big, huge crush on both Sean Cassidy and Parker Stevenson. So, I mean, like, hello. And Pamela Sue Martin was great. But, it's interesting watching the show and seeing how she really got subjugated at that time period. And so to be a part of this particular series where Tracy was you were sublime in the role and really hit that sweet spot. And for someone who didn't read the books and had no preconceived ideas of who this character was, to again lift that off the page is so remarkable. And I think this is one of the great parts about our series is that yeah, I think it was just a fantastic thing to be a part of. And my family was so excited when I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be playing George. We're so excited.
That is
But
so sweet.
I will tell you a casting story though around Tracy, and I don't know if Tracy remembers this, but we we read people several times. I remember an audible what gasp is the wrong word, but when Tracy was doing her initial audition for Nancy, the sides that we used were kind of an interrogation. And Laura and I both at the same time did like an audible, which you don't do typically in the room. And it'd be like, oh. So it came to final tests. So there, one, because of the three of them and that relationship was so critical, you had to make sure that you had chemistry amongst them. We knew individually Jhene and Joy, like no brainer, for those two roles. But the Nancy role, we had to make sure that, again, was it going to fit in the mix? So part of my strategy with the entire series was to invite creatives in all departments, from wardrobe to set design, and even directors that were emerging talent or independent talent, some voices that had never really been involved in series television, which I thought was going to be really exciting, rather than sort of the tried and true. And there was an independent director in Canada named Bruce McDonald, who had a big hit with something called Highway 61, I think it was called.
Dance Me Outside.
And what? Sorry?
I think it was Dance Me Outside, another of his. He had several, yeah.
And he was kind of known for a punk aesthetic, they would always say. I don't quite know what that meant, to be honest. But we brought him in not only to direct an episode, but he directed the final auditions for Nancy. And we did them in the studio. We had a bunch of executives there on the day. And Tracy was scheduled and wasn't there. And I was like panicking, thinking like, oh my God. And I think you were lost, like driver, something happened. And I think you were like an hour late.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like palpitating. And I remember saying to everybody, it's like, okay, like just stay calm. She's going to be really wound up. Like just like give her space. Didn't say space back then, but whatever it was, but like just like, cause she's really going to be freaked out by this, I'm sure. Tracy walked in. She's like, hey, there was no stress whatsoever. Or if she did, she was hiding it perfectly well. And she went and wardrobe did something with her, and she went on camera and like completely nailed it. And I thought, this is like Nancy Drew just walked in the room. Like she was just so like nothing's going to faze her. Nothing.
That's amazing. You truly were meant for the role. So cool.
I do remember, this is going to sound, but I do remember when it came to auditioning for it or even thinking about whether I could do it. And I don't always think this, of course. I was like, yeah, like I did just have a sense of like, yeah, totally. But I feel like because it was written in a way that I understood. Yeah.
It's meant to be.
So, to talk a little bit more about filming, obviously the bulk of this was shot in Toronto, which is, as you guys know and are very familiar with, a mecca for TV shows. So, what is it like working up there in Toronto? And do you have any favorite haunts in Toronto from the time or even now? Let's see, who wants to start? Jhene?
I love this city. I love this city. I was away from the city for 20 years and came back about 10 years ago, and I just adore this city. I find myself walking through the University of Toronto campus fairly frequently these days, and we shot on the University of Toronto campus. My parents went to the University of Toronto, and so that was one of the days I remember just sitting in the convertible on the back, and they were getting the shot ready, and the three of us were in the car, and it was a beautiful summer day, and it was just like a gift. Like even at the time, I just knew that it was great. But that University of Toronto campus is a beautiful campus.
Wow. Anyone else want to add anything about Toronto?
I love it too.
I come from the States originally. So for me, I have an interesting perspective. It's a little bit different coming from the States, from New York, and then landing here and thinking this has become home. And again, Jhene, that was the pilot we shot at the university. I did my master's there, so I feel very, and yeah.
I
so
didn't
it's
know that. Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Oh, that's so sweet.
during the pandemic, so it was all.
I mean, for the record, she's on to the doctoral now. She's in the PhD zone. Just
Wow.
for the record.
You're Dolly, Jhene. Thank you for that.
That's
But yeah,
amazing.
Toronto's a really great place to shoot, and it's got a very vibrant acting community. Everyone knows everyone. The creatives behind the camera are so talented. It is a mecca, and I think we've been very lucky also with the Canadian dollar. Push that, and the credits that we get shooting up here. It's a wonderful place to raise a family. The food is amazing. It's multicultural. It's a great place to be. And if you haven't been to Toronto or Canada, please come.
It's on my list as a Vermonter now. I am a big proponent of Canada, and I'm very excited to visit soon. But yeah, I'm glad to hear all that.
I'll tell you one little fun story. When Laura Phillips and I were in LA, when we were developing the series, and we were staying at the Chateau Marmont, and we were talking about the Chateau Marmont Hotel, the famous old hotel, and we were talking about where should Nancy live. And it was over breakfast, and we looked down in the courtyard, and I saw a ponytail, like a clump of hair. This is before hair extensions were a real thing. And it's like somebody had cut off their ponytail and thrown it in the middle of the courtyard. And we're like, that's just bizarre. And I said, maybe Nancy lives here. Maybe she lives in a hotel. And the Callisto was born. And we, obviously interior sets for Nancy's apartment, but the exterior was an old bank building in downtown Toronto on Yonge Street that had been burnt. It was kind of burnt out, and I think the building may have been abandoned. But we dressed it up for the exterior shots, and that was fine. Anyway, fast forward. I think actually when I was with you guys in 2019, Toronto was sold out. I was there for something else. Somebody got me a hotel room, and I stayed there. And as I was leaving, I realized, like, oh my gosh, this was the Callisto. That old bank has been redeveloped as a hotel. And there it was. And I was looking at the entrance going, oh my gosh, it's at like Young and Richmond on the northwest corner.
Writing that down.
Around there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Like, crazy. Anyway.
We'll have to go check it out if we ever go visit Toronto. That's so
Totally.
fun.
I'm literally going to put that on my list of things to do.
Well, our next question is kind of about the vibes of the show. So this show brings in a big element of fantasy with the sets and just how fun the show is. So did shooting feel that fun? And what was it like for you at that time of your life and the impact that that had on the show? And maybe Joy, if you want to go first this time.
You saw me shaking my head. There was so much fun. And I want to sort of kind of point back to something that Michael did so brilliantly. He talked a lot about the creatives that he brought on board. And I know that you had in one of your podcasts, you had mentioned the series we shot. It was only a 22-minute episode, right? Each episode was only 22 minutes, which means that so like Laura, who was the writer, the economy with which she wrote those episodes and the set deck, the costume, the wardrobe design, it was so lush. We knew exactly, we would step onto a set. We knew exactly where we were. There was so much to play with from a prop perspective. The imaginary spaces that were created were so rich for us as actors. Like we just had to memorize our lines and basically that, and then the three of us would just have fun. You know, Michael had done like you really did, Michael, a magnificent job of bringing all of these people together and to create these situations where we really didn't have to work too hard. And again, I think it feeds to the fact that those episodes were so short, even though we would have liked to have had more time to play. It made it very easy for us. So we didn't have to work that hard. I mean, I didn't feel that way. And Tracy and Jhene were always cutting up. Like there was always stuff going on. So it was like, you know, hey, come on, pull it together when we were supposed to actually do our job, right? But there was so much to play with, you know, and you knew like, Tracy, you look so beautiful in like the reds and the greens and these royal colors, like, and Jhene's wardrobe was so much fun. Like you knew exactly who we were as soon as we zipped ourselves up, and you know, it just made it so easy to play. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
So and then there was France, but
yeah,
you'll get to that after.
Well, that's literally our next question. Yeah, what was it like filming in France? Obviously, you know, a lot different from the rest of the show. What was that like? Was it so exciting to be in France in your 20s? I can only imagine I'm working. Or yeah. What did you guys do while you were there? Tracy, you want to jump in?
It was, well, of course, like that's a dream come true. If you get any show that then goes and shoots on location. We stayed in a really nice hotel in Paris. The
Lutetia. Yeah.
And shot in so many different locations. And I actually got to do 2 of the Hardy Boys as well. I feel like we were there 6 weeks total, or I was there, and I feel like it was actually a lot of work. Like it was a tremendous
amount. In 6 weeks. That's that's a lot.
I think was it only 6 weeks? I mean, I feel like I was there for 6 months, but there was a lot going on. But yeah.
Yeah, it was lush. It was like I'm still friends with our makeup artist who we had there, and even went back the following year or the year after that to visit her. Yeah.
And you all got French haircuts too.
French haircuts, Michael. French haircuts. I had the legendary Staten Island Bess haircut from the 90s. And no offense to anyone in Staten Island, but it was like I can't pretend
It was very chic. It's like
was-
that episode
it was-
of Fleabag.
It
It's
was
very
very
chic, Claire. It's very
mullet.
chic.
It was very mullet before the mullet was like cool.
It was hot.
You were hot, Jhene.
You
As
rocked it.
demonstrated by the little photo there with the, the extra hockey hair coming out the back.
Oh, no, sassy little flip.
Do you remember our lunches though?
Call
Do
me
you
Canadian.
The gingham tablecloths, and here's the red wine, here's the rosé, here's the white wine.
It was
Do you remember that?
extraordinary.
We were like,
Well, that was a union rule. You had to have red wine, white wine, and rosé on offer at lunch.
not in
Can't break
Toronto.
the
That's a
rules.
union rule in France.
Yes, absolutely. There would be a revolt. Why do you think we had it every day? There would have been a revolt.
I just remember that first castle out in the countryside was so beautiful. It was sort of this derelict castle with all this extraordinary painting on the inside. And the first day, we're used to, on set, there are the big troughs of food that are, great and delicious. And we walk out and because this was out in the country, there's just this huge field and this like 40-foot long table in the middle of the field, like with cutlery and wine and everything set. And we all sat together at this table and had our lunch. And that was kind of mind blowing.
Yeah. It was like
Even
a wedding.
with my
Every
hair.
meal was like a wedding.
Yeah.
So nice, though.
Well, and then also, but at night, I mean, we shot in the city of Paris was really hard to shoot. It's just, nobody shuts down, New York actually, you can kind of get things done when you're shooting in the streets. In Paris, forget it. And so that was hard, and loud. And then, so we did a lot out in the country, in these old chateaus, and I mean, great for mysteries. But that also meant travel, getting there and getting home at night. And so we crowd in my hotel room, because I had a terrace. Remember I had a terrace that overlooked the Eiffel Tower, and some nights we'd all be sort of dangling off the balcony watching the lights of the Eiffel Tower go out and ordering spaghetti bolognese and beer from room service. I have pictorial evidence of all of this.
Oh my gosh. I have such FOMO now.
I know.
You talk about this, it sounds amazing.
It was amazing, and I was at the Lutetia a few years ago. They had closed. They closed for like 3 years and did an enormous gut renovation. And we were staying there, and I told them the story. And I'm like, I lived up in that suite. So they put me in the same room. It's very different now, but so sweet. That same view from the terrace, like. Yeah.
Do you remember? I remember getting a phone call. It was magical. Like, it was absolutely magical. But I remember getting a phone call. Catherine Deneuve Deneuve's downstairs. Come down.
And Julie Delpy, like riding the elevator with Julie Delpy and just being like.
Yeah, that's right. Catherine Deneuve lived around the corner, and we all had that code of like, if we ever see her in the bar, we must let each other know. And sure enough, it happened.
It did. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, I think we do need to take a moment to appreciate the 90s fashion of this show. It is so good. We do have to credit the late Jhene Erwin for this, who she passed away in March, I believe, of this year. So we just wanted to give her some posthumous thanks for this, because these outfits are just so delightful.
She was amazing. I mean, and again, look, you can write the words. You need amazing talent to bring it to life. Jhene got what we were trying to do from a character perspective, and again, Joy, kind of you to say. I mean, I think we were all brought together with this, and everyone had permission to go as far as they possibly wanted to go. I think, and also had permission to say like, hold on. And I think it's a testament to Tracy and Jhene and Joy to allow their characters to really flourish, and what Jhene came up with for them, and those signature looks, who they are. They don't have to. No one has to talk. It's very clear.
And I will say, props to Jhene as well. As much as obviously this was a very positive experience. We were young, and young women. It's you feel the lens on you, and I'll speak for myself. I felt quite insecure about myself physically, and she found a way of working with me to make sure that, we were able to keep the integrity of the character and incorporate my creativity with her idea, and also make me feel physically comfortable. So I appreciate that as well.
Well, that's wonderful.
Do you remember your transparent raincoat?
It was the skirt, right, with the vest.
Yeah.
There was there was no air condition, or there was air conditioning. We have to turn the air conditioning off on set, right? Because it's so loud.
Mhm.
So we're in this little tiny restaurant in Toronto. It is, I don't know, 40 degrees with the humidex Celsius.
It's like 90
Oh.
degrees
Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Yeah, for
Very, like
American friends.
the air is dripping. So every time they turn off the air conditioner to shoot, the underside of my wardrobe steams up. There's condensation.
Oh. Must have been so uncomfortable.
It's dripping.
You were so gracious about it, Jhene. You were so gracious about it. But
Nobody's
you rocked
fault.
that. You rocked that outfit.
Nobody's fault. Just one of those things. But I remember going, okay, this is today.
Well, this is a great transition into one of our games today. Because we wanted to appreciate all of these outfits so much, I thought we should play a little game of Rate the Outfit of 0 to oh so 90s. So in the next few slides, I have some famous outfits from the show. And if you all could give me a score from 0 to 5, 0 being not 90s at all, and 5 being the most 90s thing you've ever seen. Let's do that. Okay. So first up, we have Bess's shiny blue jacket and white tights combo. I love this, personally. I love the floral print on the skirt. Tracy, what do you think? 0 to 5.
This is 0 to also 90s?
0 to 5, oh so 90s, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose this is also 90s, isn't it?
So 5.
Except that I wore it last week. But
Yes, give it a 5.
5. Let's say Joy.
So I'm going to say the print on the skirt is definitely 90s, but the silk jacket is very Pinky Tuscadero 1950s. So I think there's a mashup here. So I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay. Jhene.
now, Joy, would that change if you knew the jacket was also plastic? I just in case.
It would totally change.
I think we're very 90s here, but with the kids, the 90s are back. So we're also full circle. Nobody's wearing this again. It's 90s.
Okay. Michael, what do you think?
Oh, totally a 5. I mean, and I can't look at it as individual components. I have to look at it as a complete set. So I think it's all about the styling and the zhuzh that she has. So I'm going to go 5.
All right. Michael, what about George's urban jockey outfit?
Oh, I don't know if it's 90s. It's just that I want it. I wanted it then. I want it now. I just...
You're wearing a harness, Joy.
Okay. You want to talk about crossing some lines and some coding there? Pretty hot, though. I will say.
Very hot. Very hot.
You could still rock it today. This is everything.
So on a number, what do you think? Because I'm going to crown a winner here.
Wow. So up to 5 though, with the 90s measure. I mean, I love it. So I love it from a 5. I just don't think it's 90s.
Okay.
I think it transcends the 90s.
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to give it a 4, I guess.
All right. Joy, what about you? Obviously, you wore this.
Yeah, I think the only 90s thing were the pants. I do take things apart, but I think it transcends the 90s. It's a little bit outside of it.
So you want to say 0?
0. I'm going to give it a 0.
0. Okay. Tracy?
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking too. I remember the aim with the costuming was that it could it did weave itself through eras. So there, I thought often was a lot of work done to make things look both retro and current. But yeah, this doesn't have any. It's really cool though. Is that like a? Is that like a right? What kind of hat are you wearing?
It's a horse and equestrian hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she had those goggles.
Yeah, it's very,
And
a steampunk type element going on.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, it's not, no. So I guess I have to give it a 0. It
Yeah.
just feels like, but that doesn't mean I don't love it.
I mean, in my mind, I just assume that everything is 90s is like just very lovable. I just inherently love everything that's 90s. So,
But I think what Tracy said is correct. It's we were never trying to be the 90s.
Sure.
That wasn't the intent. So it's funny though, on looking back on it, to think of it in that context.
Yeah.
So,
Jhene, what about you? Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I don't think it's, I mean, I would say it's matrixy, maybe like the 2090s.
Very fair.
Yeah, I think it's quite timeless. It's quite timeless. 0.
Okay. Now, Nancy's suspenders with the green top. I know the suspenders themselves are very 90s. Green top, maybe not. And it's very simple. Obviously, a lot of Nancy's outfits were very classic. But what do you think, Michael?
this one's probably pushing the 90s. Not meant to, I suppose. But yeah, I would give it, on the 90s scale, I'm going to give it a 5.
5. Great. Tracy?
Well, it's so funny because I'm like, okay, well, it would have, to be 90s, then it would have to be something that I would have worn in real life in the 90s. And I never wore.
I would never see you in that.
And I never had a pair of pants that went up that high. I think that might have been the first and last time I ever did wear them. But I thought this look was cool. I just didn't know, I didn't think of it as a current look. I didn't at the time.
Okay. So 3, maybe? Middle of the road?
Yeah, give that 3.
Middle of the road. Joy?
Yeah, I'm seeing sort of a throwback to the 80s, but also to like the 30s, late 30s, early 40s. So I think, again, to speak to Tracy's point, this sort of timelessness, and maybe a throwback to Nancy from the late 30s, perhaps. Again, it's a great outfit, and you look so beautiful in these jewel tones. Diana always put you in these gorgeous jewel tones, which just like they were brilliant on you. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it, I don't know, like a 2. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm like,
I suck at this.
That's okay. It's just for fun. You will not be graded. I promise. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, no aptitude here. It's all good.
Everything's a competition.
Mostly, we just want to look at all the pretty outfits. That was really. This is my excuse to like drool over all of them. Jhene, what do you think?
I think this is actually very current. I think that, the move away from the skinny jeans that, thank God, has happened, that there's an option for something different. And I think these more, the baggy dress pants are back. And the suspenders, I think there's a place for them too. There's a lot of, I almost wore one tonight, the sort of fanciful neckties, taking the menswear tie and wearing them in a feminine way with a brooch. The top, I would say, is definitely we're more in the 90s, but the rest of it, I'm going to go 1. I'm going to go 1.
Okay. Next up, we have another classic George look, your aviatrix getup. You were just talking about the hat and the goggles and the gloves.
I just love this outfit. I'm sorry.
You're also wearing a full leather vest, like the whole thing. Looks very piratey, too.
Mm-hmm. Plus the plaid.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a bike courier.
What do you think, Joy? What score would you give this?
Oh, it's got, I think maybe the button-down shirt, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the rest of it, we're going back to Amelia Earhart. That's...
Okay, 0 then. 0?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tracy, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I have to. I mean, it's almost like I didn't see it till now. Maybe because the whole term steampunk, I don't even think was something that existed. But that's where this belongs for me.
Okay.
I just remember George's aesthetic was always like I quite envied it because it was like pretty badass. Not that Nancy's wasn't, but like it just, she was always just kind of edgy, and so I loved it. But that it's 90s is, again, I'd say no one in the 90s was wearing this.
Definitely. Michael?
Yeah, I would exactly what she said.
Okay,
I'm with her. Yeah.
Jhene, do you have a different opinion?
No, I agree. Although I think we do need to spend a minute with those gloves.
They came up pretty far. They were pretty high on your wrist there, or your almost like mid arm, which is an interesting length for a
loved
glove.
my wardrobe. It was badass.
Well, your character moved, right? Your character was physical and athletic, which was very modern for that time, especially. It's fantastic that
Do you
element
think
was
so? Do you think that was? I don't know. I mean, I remember listening. Okay, so Becky and Kori, you had an episode where you were talking about the crone, the maiden, and
Mother, maiden, crone.
the mother, and sort of the relationship from a feminist perspective. I thought that we kind of threaded the needle quite nicely in terms of, like, Bess was not athletic, but you were also in clothes that didn't allow you to be athletic.
Well,
so
right? Yes, exactly. Which I think is which is what yes, I completely agree, Joy. And I think that it's wonderful that element, that it wasn't another character in heels, that there was room for this character, I think is fantastic.
Okay. I think we're getting a little bit more 90s here.
What did I just say about athletic?
Blue bobbled hat. You're also wearing a crop top under these overalls, Jhene. What score would you give this?
I mean, yeah, obviously a 5.
5. Yeah.
This is Fresh Prince of River Heights. I mean,
Bess is gonna drop a really bad rap aerobics.
I don't know. What was on that hat? I kept trying to zoom in on it, and I can't tell what they are. If they're like little pins, do they look like little crumpled pieces of paper or something? Do you remember?
It was a bad day at the newspaper that day. They were pom poms, I think, like little craft store pom poms. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, this is Fresh Prince of Jhene.
Yeah.
So
Tracy?
Yeah, it's funny. I know it's not really. This probably is the most everyone does look 90s, including Scott, myself, those big sort of men's oversized shirts.
The loony shirts on Scott Speedman. My gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Joy, same thought?
Yeah, total 5.
Okay.
Absolutely.
This may be our winner then, but we still have, I think, 2 more. Yes, Nancy and Laura Ashley. Just amazing with the hat and the plaid. Ooh. Tracy, what do you think?
I know. Am I on Laura Ashley? Like legit?
I don't know if it's legit Laura Ashley, but it's a very Laura Ashley vibe.
It's given Laura Ashley.
Yeah, I don't think we would allow her to be in real Laura Ashley. I mean, just because it's Laura Ashley. Like, I'm actually worried that aesthetic was coming through.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm bringing bad associations.
No. I think that was the other thing, like trenches for Nancy, meant to be, I think, in the timeless vein for her. Hats, I don't know even if that's a 90s kind of hat. Again, I wouldn't have worn it myself.
But Blossom would have. So.
Yes, right. the show's aesthetic, I thought it had that kind of timeless thing going on.
Sure. So less than a 5?
Yeah, less than a 5.
Well, then that's in itself makes this not a winner then. This is our last one, and it is just what you guys were talking about earlier, Bess's plastic top and silver jacket. This is maybe one of my favorite outfits of the entire series, this one right here. Jhene, what do you think? How 90s?
Yeah, full on 90s. And also, I think those were butterflies on the fabric, like trapped under the plastic. Like, it was very Bess, very 90s. Yeah.
Okay. Joy?
I mean,
Go ahead, Jhene, go ahead. You want?
no, I'm sort of fascinated. Train wreck.
Yes, 90s for sure.
I don't think this is a train wreck at all. I think this is so stylish. I would wear this today if I could pull it off. I would wear this. Absolutely, I would. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you were rocking Mary Jane's with these too, right? Because this was a party. This was the party scene. I was in this scene. Remember, we had someone from New Line Cinema, New Line Television visiting, and they dressed us up, and we were background characters in this. Not in this shot, but I don't think we made the final cut. Shocking.
Tracy,
I
what
don't
do
know
you
if
think?
it's.
Sorry, go
it's
ahead.
90s though. Sorry, no, I would give it more like a 3 because I still think you could rock this.
Okay.
This could be in a modern day music video that the kids do.
It's true.
Kids.
Tracy, what do you think? How 90s?
Not.
Not.
No.
Interesting. It's so interesting how we all come down on different sides of this. I didn't expect that. But okay.
Again, it's timeless. Like, put this in it just remains a great costume.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then our winner is Bess's blue bobbled hat by a landslide.
Yeah,
5s across the board. So super 90s.
I think that oversized on Tracy also helped push this one over the edge.
Sure.
That's like that whole scene there.
And the
It's
sideways.
in a way that is not coming back either.
Yeah.
You know, the other things you could see elements of those, like in the 90s, is fashionable again. I mean, pull up the internet tomorrow, but I don't think we're going to see anyone sporting that hat.
This is this side of a Mentos commercial from back in the day. I'm just saying.
Oh, we do have some honorable mentions too. These are not very 90s outfits, but I just love them so much. I had to put them on here so that we could look at them again. And obviously, that is the very classic red trench for Nancy. Just so cool. Just the coolest opening shots with you in that red trench coat, Tracy. And then this blue dress that you wore, Jhene, I am obsessed with. It's my favorite thing I've ever seen.
It's so beautiful.
It also looks.
I remember
a lot
feeling
like,
really good in that dress. I remember. Yeah.
And the
It's very
purse
flattering.
too. The purse is amazing. And it also looks a lot like, I don't know if you guys seen any of the 2019 CW Nancy Drew show. They have these waitress outfits that they wear because they work at this lobster restaurant. And they put them in these little dresses that look a lot like this. And Nancy actually wears one that looks very, very close to identical. They even have the white t-shirts underneath. So I think that might be a nod to this. So
Trendsetter.
yeah, just so that you guys can know the kind of legacy that this has given.
I also want to say, like, Jana's bag is, you know, there's a call out to Birkin bag there.
I
a
agree.
little bit, like a little foreshadowing, a little something, something.
Can definitely see it.
Okay.
Oh, the boys.
The boys.
Yes. So, of course, this show had its fair share of 90s heartthrobs. Obviously, Scott Speedman, Cass Anvar, and even David Sutcliffe joined the cast. Are there any memories of working with these guys or anybody that we haven't mentioned here that are particularly special to you or any that you would just love to share?
I will defer to Tracy, I think, on this because you had the most, you know, interactions.
Not fun? No.
What?
I'm kidding. Kidding. Yeah, I worked with Scott. I suppose I worked with Scott the most, right? And I loved working with him. He's a really unaffected actor, really down to earth as a person. Felt a little protective of him too, because I think he was much younger. Well, felt much younger at the time.
Well, and I think it was his third job, maybe. I mean, it was so early in his career. So
yeah, but sweet.
yeah.
I just love actors, and every actor that was ever brought in was great. Yeah, you never cast any problems, really.
We never did. No, well, you know what? Again, going back, I saw almost everybody for both Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. And so actors that were terrific that had come back several times, we made sure that we got them in the show in some way. You know, even if it was a small guest role, at least to acknowledge that. And I think we were always, and again, this is a shout out to the entire team, and particularly this cast. We gave them a really warm, welcome environment. You know, there was no problems. You know, no one was behaving badly. That just didn't happen. It wasn't that kind of show.
To the point, Michael, you created an environment that there was a guest actor that came on one day and mistook our executive producer, Michael, for craft services. And you know, because he was so young, right? He was so young, and Michael, like, there was nothing other than, you know, no, I'm actually the executive producer, and they of course felt very awkward, but yeah, the humility was prevalent.
It was very sweet, you know. And there was somebody else who asked me too, like, what role are you playing? And I said, I played the producer. And they're like, oh.
Oh my goodness gracious. So to talk a little bit kind of more, I mean, you brought up the cast, you know. So obviously Tracy, Joy, Jhene, you guys portrayed this dynamic between Bess, George, and Nancy just so perfectly. How do you guys think that you were able to capture that friendship so well? And do you have any fun memories of bonding that you want to share? And like, what is going on in this truck? This truck picture. Joy, I think we got this from your Instagram.
Yes.
Oh, did you? Okay.
We did.
So this was a photo shoot that we did for a magazine that came out for we have a pharmacy up here called Shoppers Drug Mart, and they I think it was their inaugural magazine, fashion magazine or something like that, and they brought us in, and they put us in the most glorious dresses, like, again, so glamorous, and they were like juxtaposed us against this, you know, 18-wheeler, and they're like, go have fun, go, like, just have fun with the photo shoot. And that's one of the shots that came out of that. So
you guys are so cute. And just I think the thing that confuses me the most is the gas hose that you're holding there. I guess the truck is interesting too, but
no, it's confusing. You're
I've never pumped gas in Versace before, so it's
why not? You know, I mean, there's a first for everything.
Absolutely.
And it was a drugstore magazine, fashion magazine. Like, I missed that completely. I didn't know that.
No, it was Images magazine.
Was it Images?
Images magazine.
Okay, we looked so hard. We tried to find it to attribute it, but we couldn't find it. Obviously, because it was from the 90s, probably there's nothing on the internet.
No, I still have a copy of it. I remember taking pictures of it.
Too.
But, yeah, but wow. I didn't realize it was Shoppers Drug Mart related.
I thought it was Shoppers, but
it might be.
Well, it's Images magazine in Shoppers Drug Mart. Yeah. I think that's what it was. But the rest of the pictures, Joy was kind to show this one because there is one of me that is so unflattering to the point that when Tracy and I first saw it, I was laughing so hard and we went to see some British period movie that was very serious and people were dying, and I was giggling through the entire 2 hours. I think my face is it's remarkable.
I can still look at it and lose my mind.
Aw.
So funny.
Really bad.
But I think you asked about the friendships or the chemistry. Was that sort of your question? And I was thinking about that for me personally on this show was one of the most important things I hoped we'd get right, was that it would seem like real friends. I don't know really what I might have been comparing it to at the time that I found disappointing when I watched on TV, but because I, in real life, am so into my friends or value my friends so much, it was, I was really hoping we'd get that right, especially with, 3 women.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll speak for myself, but I think that you guys really hit the nail on the head. When I watch you guys on screen, I am just so just kind of in awe, and I want to be there with you, and you look like you're having so much fun. I want to be your best friend, I want to be in with the gang solving these mysteries. So I think you guys, you really did capture it. And I think you succeeded. Tracy.
That's really lovely. Thank you. Yeah.
No
nice.
offense to the other Nancy Drew movies or TV shows or anything, but I think that y'all are the best that have ever done the Nancy, Bess, and George portrayal, especially that dynamic as you interact with each other. It's just never been duplicated to this day. It's just so pure and perfect at what it was in the book. So very well done.
Think both Joy and I are kind of theater nerds too.
Oh, yeah.
So we knew, not to get too, analytic about it, but we
Get into it.
Get into it.
Do it.
We knew that these were iconic characters in, this, again, listen, I know what I'm about to say, but in Shakespearean plays, that there were the fools. And so because we were both versed in theater, we knew that that was what we were fulfilling. And that we had our world unto our own. And then we had our world with Nancy as well. But that we knew we were sort of, the fools.
But there was a real familial, the sort of like the sibling, tumbling over each other. And then, Nancy would come in, Tracy would come in, and it was like, okay, we've got to behave properly. There was a real sort of sibling kind of dynamic between the two of us. And then, Tracy, you would come in and come on,
you're right.
Too kind of
you're right. It was like we didn't want Tracy to see how untogether we were.
Yeah.
Right. That was our thing, and so then when she showed up, we had to mask. We had to not, we're good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and as a fellow theater nerd,
yes, of course, Tracy, indeed.
It's all about the ensemble, and so I think we all got that. But yeah, I guess I did have to play the straight man a little more.
Well, you were working really hard. That was a very, 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 very demanding schedule for you.
Ah, yes.
No, it was. And then maniacs like me calling her off set to have her hair done for close-ups. But I was all about the hair. It's always about the hair. It's always about the hair.
What was so important about the hair to get right, Michael?
It's more the lighting and hair, wardrobe and design. I mean, obviously, these are all important points. But that was at a period of time when I think there was a complacency with a lot of television that was being made in Toronto. And it just was. I mean, there's always the joke about, you can always tell when something's shot in Canada, Canadian light. And we worked really hard to define this series, as I say, on its own. Even the flashlights were a big deal a really big deal. Remember those?
John
And
Halasco.
John
Obi-Wan
Halasco.
Kenobi teaching us how to use the flashlights,
Uh,
because we were either shooting outdoors with natural lighting or we were in these dark caves and, we had to illuminate it. There you go.
There's a good picture. Hold on. There's a good picture. I'm going to find it of you guys in France. Yes, right there in front of the chateau.
I
Yeah.
remember that night. Yes, yes, I totally remember that. It was right. Jhene looks down the barrel of the camera at one point, like for one of her lines that was like totally perfect. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
we were lighting each other while doing the scenes.
I remember Jhene wanted DOP credit on. There was another show in a cave.
Oh.
Yeah, well, because you had like mirrors all over you from John that were reflecting, but they told me they got those lights from X-Files, and I believed them. I don't know if that's true or not.
I remember that.
But John's like, no, I got these from X-Files because they had the really cool flashlights. It's like, great.
Was that in the with George in the mental hospital in the caves underneath?
Yeah. Yeah. But also in the opening title
so
sequence that you guys shot.
Oh my
with
gosh.
But
You've got lots of scenes with flashlights. Lots of scenes.
Yes, no, exactly. But anyway, back to like the hair. Again, it was all about this aesthetic, and these characters were so well defined. And I'm sort of a maniac attention to detail. I mean, foreshadowing the rest of my career in terms of attention to detail, I suppose. And I really do want to do a book about like sort of the big book of television hair. So, because I still think some of ours is the best. So.
Right.
Okay, let me get back to where we were. Okay. Well, so we did think, talking a little bit back about y'all's chemistry, we wanted to know how much you three might resemble your on-screen characters in real life. And so we have compiled some questions fully based on the show to determine whether or not you personally are a Nancy, Bess, or a George. And this is for all of you. Michael, please play I Want to Know If You're a Nancy, Bess, or a George as well.
I do too.
Yes.
Okay. Question 1. There's a mystery afoot and the bad guys could show any minute. How are you helping with the case? Are you A, picking the lock on a drawer to look for clues? B, stealing the bad guy's keys so you can make a quick getaway? Or C, acting as a lookout to keep your friends safe? Jhene, do you want to answer first?
I'm an A.
You're an A. Okay. Joy?
Probably in real life I'm a C, but I'd like to think that I'm a B. I'm a B.
A B?
Yeah.
Okay. Tracy?
I think B.
Okay. And Michael?
I'm probably an A.
Okay. All right. Kori, you want to take question 2?
Yes. On a trip to Mama Mugwort's, what herbs are you getting? A, some clover for good luck. B, some peppermint to keep you up and moving. Or C, lavender and chamomile to help calm your nerves.
Should we just go in the same order?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Sure, just so we can keep it moving. A.
B.
C.
And Michael?
B.
B. Ooh, this is getting so interesting. Okay. It's your birthday. How do you plan on celebrating? A, enjoying time alone with your long-distance boyfriend. B, rollerblading to the beach and drinking a bottle of champagne. Or C, ordering dim sum and watching a Humphrey Bogart movie.
Yeah, probably C, but B would be the next one.
Okay. Tracy?
A.
Michael? I'm a C. I'm a C.
Okay.
Do you believe in ghosts? A, no, there is no scientific evidence to prove their existence. B, yes, too many people have seen them for them to not be real. Or C, I'm undecided and would probably rather never know.
I mean, I don't want to admit this, and not because people have seen them, but B. I do think there is some mystical, spiritual stuff out there.
Sure.
Yeah, B for sure. I've got some
Okay.
experiences.
Ooh. Tracy?
Yeah, B's the most fun.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm going to go with B.
Nice.
Ooh,
Okay.
unanimous.
In a high-speed car chase, where are you? A, behind the wheel and in control. B, riding shotgun and hyping up the driver. Or C, in the back seat, hyperventilating.
Totally A. Totally A.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, A for sure.
Wow. Tracy?
Yeah, A, I gotta be driving.
This is so interesting. Michael?
A.
Wow. I would absolutely be hyperventilating in the backseat.
Yeah.
You could not have me up there. I would crash us for
we
sure.
got you. Don't you worry.
About 4 people arguing about who's going to drive.
What gross behavior are you most likely to get caught doing?
Dear.
A, putting your bare hand into an alleyway puddle to retrieve something important. B, picking up a free but bedbug-ridden couch off the side of the road. Or C, keeping Sean Cassidy's toothbrush underneath your bed.
Totally C. True story. I kissed the poster once.
Oh,
Yeah. Me too.
Really?
C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, A.
A.
A. This is so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. In your opinion, what's the best place for a mystery in France? A, any art museum, the Louvre, perhaps. B, an abandoned haunted chateau. Or C, a cafe on the Riviera.
I'm going to say C just because it sounds like the most fun for me.
And like consider the snacks, you know?
of course.
I would do B, and then I might hit A, and then definitely finish off with C.
But that's a nice day.
Any mystery is a good mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, what do you think?
I'm gonna go. I like A.
Okay. And Michael?
I'm biased, so I'm going to have to go with B.
B. Okay. Ooh, okay. So, Michael, I think this is our last question. So, you are a tie between Nancy and George. You're 50-50 split. Joy, you are very firmly a George. And Jhene, you are a Bess. You are a Bess. And Tracy, you are a Nancy. You are a Nancy. I can't believe that worked. I can't believe that's how it worked out.
Oh my God, I want Tracy to reach underneath her chair and pull out a hat and put it on right now.
So funny. I can't believe that. I never expected that to be how that shaked out.
Such a great quiz, too.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
It was, but I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised at the answers too, I have to say.
Well, then
Not the result you thought?
Not for the three of them. No.
So where would you put us then, Michael?
I don't know. I'm just thinking of the individual answers. I just think it would have been a little bit.
So this is firmly based off of the characters' dialogue and actions in the show. So 100% from the 1990s TV show. That's how you guys line up.
You totally have to put this quiz on your site and on Instagram. I mean, I think it's a great quiz.
Definitely.
It's a great quiz for people. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Well, Kori, you want to take our next question?
Absolutely. So let's see here. So of course, cancellations happen, but how did you all feel about the unceremonious cancellation of the show?
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Oh.
Joy, go for it. Tell us.
Well, I think, I think what was so disappointing was you had such a great show, Michael. And so I've worked for Nelvana, and I know that I have to be careful here, but I think part of it has to do with the sort of Canadian, sort of how Canadian productions do not support their shows, or didn't at that time. And I know that we were in kind of an odd time slot. And I think that when you put that kind of energy, that kind of time, and I'm talking in terms of disappointment for everyone who was involved, right? Everyone who was involved. It was disappointing to know that it didn't get a second shot at the can, so to speak. And I think that it speaks to just, I don't know the business, but my guess is there wasn't enough money invested into perhaps, promoting the show. That would be my educated guess, but disappointed certainly because we had had so much fun together, and you really had put together such a great troupe of individuals, talented people.
Yeah, and before the others go, I mean, here's the thing. Look, this still happens today all the time. Generally, your season 1 is your development season. You need a season 2, season 3 in order. And streamers are, if they're buying multiple seasons off the top, that's a great thing for the creative community. This was different because I think the wiki article is actually incorrect because it talks about cancellation based on ratings. That wasn't the case. The show was syndicated in the US, did really well in large markets like New York, for instance. It was a question of being able to find it because it was always a different slot. So that was a challenge, but it was also, there were a lot of partners involved, and you had to magically have everyone aligned at the same time in order to finance the series to go again. And there was such goodwill within the creative community in Toronto and in Canada, where the agents were actually getting together, trying to find ways to keep it alive. Like everybody was invested in this. And it was just, the French weren't ready to move. The US syndication was ready. Canada was ready, but it was dependent on some other envelope of cash being available at the time, et cetera, et cetera. It lost momentum. And sadly, that was the end of it. So it's really unfortunate. But because everyone does put their heart and soul in these things, and you hope for the best, and you know what you can do to make it even better next time, and you don't get that chance. But say, Libby.
And at the risk of sounding like even more nerdy than I've managed to make myself sound, I have a recurring dream of we're back in France and it's middle-aged Nancy Drew. And we're all kind of going, okay, I guess, okay. Yeah. So it's
funny.
an impact.
Literally, my next question is, if the show did continue on for another 30 years, which in my opinion it should have at least gotten one more season. It's truly a crime that you only got one. But where do you think our trio would be today? What would Nancy, Bess, and George be doing 30 years later? Tracy?
Oh!
You've been so quiet.
Oh! What would we be doing? Well, spending more time in France. We'd just still be at it. Would there be? It's hard to think. I'm like not even interested in kids and husbands.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Nancy with Ned? Is she not? What do you think?
Oh, right, Ned. Yeah, that's got to still be hot for sure. I think just it's not the cleverest answer, but really doing the same thing.
Still in touch with the Hardy Boys?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I do think there is a lot of truth to that, though, because when you think about Nancy Drew and, just her as an IP, she's existed for so long doing the exact same thing, book after book, story after story, TV show after TV show, movie after movie. And so, yeah, I think 30 years later, now there's going to be a Broadway show. Have you guys heard about that?
Oh, no.
Yes. It's in development right now. I think they just had a table read in November. But yeah, no. So I think it's very true that Nancy absolutely would be doing the same thing. And I think that if she were still solving mysteries, that Bess and George would be right beside her still. So,
But they'd be doing it for that period, within that time period, meaning, Benita Granville's Nancy compared to Pamela Sue Martin's compared to Tracy Ryan's were very different,
Mm-hmm.
but they were relevant to audiences that were consuming that at that time. That's what makes Nancy so great, that she can transcend all, generations at this point of fans, and it sticks with them.
Mm-hmm.
I do also really love that we got to do this kind of like mystery solving, really before a lot of technology was being used. So it was really nice in that way. I still like shows where it's not all about the cell phone and the computer. Yeah.
It's too easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit
Just
more
Google
manual.
it instead. Yeah.
Jhene or Joy, do you guys have any thoughts?
I like Tracy's answer, and I think what supports it is when you think of the three of us, who we are, and how, yes, we've gone off and we've all had, life adventures, but we're still back here the same as well. It's like I said, that 30 years kind of folds in on itself. So I like to think that they've had the joy of like a 30-year friendship that is still going.
That feels right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is rare. I mean, not when you say that, Jane, I hadn't really thought of it, but we've all done a lot of things since this, and it's rare that you stay in touch, or that something that sort of gets under your skin the way that this series did, I think, for all of us, sticks. And that we actually have very specific memories.
And we all kind of still make sense in
yeah,
as evidenced by your quiz.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like, that just doesn't happen. Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay. Well, is there anything any of you would like to leave our listeners with before we wrap up? And anything now that you're working on that you might want to plug, or honestly, anything you want to say at all? We'll listen. Michael, you want to go first?
Look, here's the one thing I would say. For people that are fans of Nancy Drew, but two, if they're thinking about careers, certainly within television or content creation, is that there are no barriers, and it's about pushing yourself, finding the right opportunities. The right opportunities will find you. And we had so much. We talked about a lot of that key talent that came into this. We had. Remember Peter Mensah?
Yes,
Who
Simon, I adored him.
Amazing. We had, we were looking for a character at the Callisto, and he had to be mysterious. And Peter was, had a number of different things he was doing in Toronto, but he was a waiter in a restaurant. And I was with one of the other execs one night having dinner, and said, "Do you act?" He's like, "No." And I said, "Would you consider auditioning?" And he's like, "I guess." And he did, and he got the role. And I mean, Peter was in Gladiator 2. I mean, he was in Avatar. He's like had an amazing career in adventure films and other things. Like, it's amazing. And it's something he would never have expected. Well, I mean, he never expected it to happen. And it used to blame me for it all the time. But he, there was so many stories like that this became such a great experience for people that they went on. And so I remind people all the time that if you have a dream to be in this business in some form, you've just got to keep trying. You just got to keep creating, and at some point, hopefully it's going to work for you.
I think also the fact that we are part of such a legacy. Like, really, this is such a legacy, and that the people that we worked with, the people that are on screen here right now, are such lovely human beings. I think that's, for me, one of the most important things, that, Tracy, Michael, and Jhene are just lovely, lovely people. And to have been part of such a legacy, I don't think we think about it until, we get a random Instagram message saying, "Hey," and that's really special to be a part of that. So I'm always grateful.
Thank you. Tracy?
I guess.
Or sorry, Jhene? Yeah, you go.
Yes, Tracy.
You
I
go.
feel like yeah.
Me?
Yes.
You don't have to say anything if you don't want to, Tracy,
Yeah.
but if you have anything
It was
else.
like what was kind of our party. I like what Michael said. I was thinking too. Peter Mensa was a Rhodes Scholar. He was like
Oh, wow.
wickedly smart, wonderful human being.
Super interesting. Yeah, had
Yeah.
similar levels. Yeah.
I think he played basketball professionally as well. I think
He
I
was
seem to remember something.
like he owned some big thing. Like he was amazing. He
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything great.
It's okay.
Joy
It's truly no pressure.
so well as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, it's such a fun thing to have been asked to do this and to have like some time this evening to kind of relive and rethink this. I mean, I guess there is something to be said for anniversaries and for reflection. Um, looking back, how much have you changed? How much have you not changed? And then to see that this has been a meaningful show, even, to you both, it's like, I'm so delighted by that. You don't think of that. It did just go one season, but obviously one season was enough to, capture your imaginations. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jhene?
Well, I think to what Tracy is saying I try to remind myself, and to what Michael is saying about being somebody who is a creative and creates things, that you don't always know the ripples that you're making with what you're doing. And I think it's important to remember that, because you just need to keep creating and know that there will be an impact. I never would have guessed that you guys would be, as interested in this. It's been a long time for us. And then there are other wonderful little ripples that couldn't have guessed at the time of shooting, that Tracy and I got together and our daughters were the same age. They were like 9 and they wanted to watch the show. And so they sat there watching their moms on the show. And so at the time that was not part of what I thought the experience would be, but there's all these wonderful ripples. Some you can see, some you get the reward of seeing, and others you don't. So I think you do your best to put something, helpful into the world.
Well, I think that you all have succeeded, and you are so accurate to say that this has definitely made an impact on Kori and I. Yeah, I love the 95 TV show. Obviously we love Nancy Drew in general, but this in particular is very special, and I think captures such a time and a place, and just honestly some of the best of what Nancy, Bess, and George are. And the whole series. So yeah, I'm very happy to get to be here with you guys today. And yeah, thank you all for being here with us tonight. And
Thank
happy
you.
30 years.
Thank you,
Yes.
Rachel. Thank you so much for
Wonderful
inviting us.
milestone.
Just
Like
wonderful.
genuinely lovely, good energy, just an absolute delight.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been so surreal seeing you on my screens and now seeing you here on my computer screen talking to you all, but it's just been so wonderful. I don't think any of you changed even a little bit, your voices or your faces and your personalities. It's just kind of exactly what I imagined. So it's been a wonderful experience just to get to meet you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, gang. Thank you so much.
And regular Drews, if you are wanting to relive the nostalgia, all episodes of the 1995 Nancy Drew TV show are available on the Retro Rerun YouTube channel. You can also find the episodes in Spanish on Tubi for some reason. And there are still some box sets floating around on eBay, which I have my eye on one in particular right now. But yeah, we will go ahead and end it there, and we'll see you next time, regular Drews.
Bye.